So without further ado, we're going to get into the first poet, the first artist, the first singer, the first amazing person who constantly levels up his artistry and his craft and makes an amazing, spectacularly transcendent gold mine masterpiece out of everything he does. Our first artist is I Am I. Stage is all yours. Take your time and give us everything that we need to know what Never the Fool means to you.
What an introduction. Thank you. Greetings, everyone. So, the piece that I'm going to do today came about from a Right About Now session. And I wrote so much that I had two pieces. This is the first one. I shared the other one the other day. So, it's titled in alignment with the theme Never the Fool. Should I have faith in you? Should I put my trust in you? Cause I've played the fool twice. Ain't no need for a thrice time. And I've learned it's always the right time for preservation itself. Nothing's more important than my health. How can I love somebody else if I can't love myself enough to grow? Healing is necessary, though. Feelings can throw us off course in this journey of life. No love's lost. Just lessons learned at every stage. I'm burning sage with Palo Santos to clear the space, prepare a place in my heart. That's where it all starts. I've paid the cost for playing simple minded. It's too expensive and senseless. Ain't no use in pretended. Keep it authentic. That's what I told my son. You know, just the other day, he told me he had a crush on two girls. My little man is the joy of my world, but the thought of his heart aching from breaking up made me tell him, don't rush. He's barely 12, very well spoken, behaves himself. Sometimes he's outspoken. That's a piece of his mom that I see in him. She can't stand it. I couldn't believe it when she told me she was late. Should have seen my face. I felt like I was in a dream awake. He was conceived in April. No wonder he's always the first to try to make you the April's fool. Now it's apparent being a parent is a verb. So I've got to speak life with more than just these words. My biggest half-witted act taught me to be firm. I guess that's lesson learned. Never the fool.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You went in, and when I said you did your thing, you did more than that. If this is the bucket right here, you've gone well over and tipped it. That was amazing. That was absolutely stellar. And before
Give
we get into
thanks.
the
Give thanks.
discussion, tell me something about what really drove the emotion for that piece and making it so centered around your role as a parent now and the admiration that you have for your son and even what your son has taught you about growing and making sure that you're the best example for him.
Yeah, it really is my son teaching me. So I'm feeling like I'm in my second childhood a lot when I'm around him. The inspiration started off of just a theme and thinking, okay, now how can I make this personal? Which I like to do with a lot of my art. So that drove it. And as it progressed, we were in a flow at that right about now session. Sister Supernatural C was grooving in her
Mhm.
in a state of being one with the piece. So that's why it's me speaking or it speaking through me rather.
Can I say that I think you know what you said is really key, and it fits with the theme that children. I heard someone say it the other day. I can't remember where I heard it, but they said children are our best teachers,
Mm,
and you absolutely when they say from the mouths of babes,
yeah.
the Most High speaks through them, and there's so many times where you're just like you know, from this little being.
Mm-hmm.
But they absolutely, I always say I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't become mom to Omar and Millie. They've absolutely brought me out of myself, converted me, made me see different perspectives. And that adds to never being the fool, because you got these little mini educators that are teaching you things that you are so divine, so godly, because they don't have the world experience. You know, sometimes when they're that small, they don't even have the vocabulary.
They're fresh from the astral plane.
I
And
love that piece.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
likewise.
Give
Well,
thanks.
what are you feeling, Son? Do you have any nieces or nephews that also put you in that type of role to where you're wanting to be these wise individuals so you can help teach them along the way?
I do. My nephew Blue, and he's 4
Mm-hmm.
now, and he's actually the first person in my life, like in my whole entire life, that made. I say really, he's my first love, like my first real love. Like I never felt like something that makes me actually like crave to develop or level up. I mean, I always want to for myself, but like it's like a burning desire. Like I gotta have something to contribute to him, something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think about it all the time. I think about it all the time. So, he is. And he's such
Mm-hmm.
a. He's a Virgo, of course. Just made it by 1 hour, but but his aura, everything, his spirit is just so like it's just so happy. Even when everything around his world is so opposite, he is just like, man, he's just like, just thinking about him, talking about him right now, it's making my heart warm. Like he just makes me like want to be better in every sense of the word, so that I could be somebody that he always looks up to, even when he's a
Mm-hmm.
teenager, which is like
Mm-hmm.
hard. So that's what he is. He's my
Got
one.
you. And when you think about that, and even in relation to IMI's piece,
Mhm.
what parts of understanding, of course, the different dynamic in parenting, because this is your seed, and then having a tiny human that you love so much that
Mhm.
isn't your seed, and just
Yeah.
being able to incorporate those different levels of learning and then what it has taught you.
Well, from his piece, like I think
Mm-hmm.
one thing is, how do you, like, it's going to be difficult for me to like give the right advice, one
Mm-hmm.
without overstepping my boundaries as an aunt, and then in a way that it's still picked up. When is it necessary? What is the right advice? When is it too much? When is so like I think for me that's going to be like the hardest part. And so like admiring that he's able to have that connection with his son, and just being able for his son to be able just to communicate that he has a crush on two different girls is dope. You know what I'm saying? But then the other side of that is being a good parent, or being a good role model, being a good aunt, whoever, and not just being able to listen, but being able to respond when necessary, because not every time is necessary. And then how you respond is something that I hope to learn
Mm.
and take in from that point.
Mm. And before we move on, I want to say that this is a beautiful dynamic, and I see the direction that it's taking right now, with Never the Fool being so family centered. Because each time that we take on a theme for the month, it takes its own direction. How the theme is broad, but then it circles into what it means for us, and how this one has become, again, family centered. It's us in all of our stages of growth, wanting and desiring and needing to be the most cosmically wise that we can be, because we feel a duty to those who are around us, who haven't had the experiences we've had by technicality, because we have more years on this earth. So we have more experiences, and translating them the best way that we can. So before we move forward, the greatest nugget that you might have ever heard from Supernatural See, your two daughters, from IMI, from your son, Tone, from your nephew, and with me, I am at two younger brothers. So we all have a different even dynamic of how we feel in that role. So the greatest nugget that you've ever heard that you can think of off the top of your head without thinking too hard about it. Supernatural C will start with you from
Cool.
them. Mm-hmm.
I just want to say as well, just off the back before I forget, that I
Mm-hmm.
do want to say that it absolutely is a village, and that
Mm-hmm.
Synthonia, I was an aunt way before I was a mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I have relied on other people talking to my children throughout them growing up, because children don't, as much as they rely on mom, they don't listen to mom either sometimes. And I had with one of them, I won't name names, but there was a situation that and another mom at the school who I was friends with, and the children were friends. She was able to get a result that I couldn't get. And it was just literally like, what are you doing that for? And if you are a good parent, you are able to pull back and let other people do that for you, because you need the village. No parent can do it on their own, and I'm supremely thankful for all the people that have had the confidence and the courage to pour into my children, and that includes discipline. you know so I'm confident without a shadow of a doubt of what a brilliant aunt you are.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very fortunate to have you.